Hello everybody, welcome back to Dominions 5. We are playing as Late Age Man, and we are about to find out if I scripted correctly. So, let me just say a couple of things before this. First of all, these guys, if you're going to do attack rear, you might as well put them all the way on the side, because it's the closer they are to the center, the likelier it is they're going to intercept something on the way, and usually that's not what you want. These guys are just set to attack cavalry. And look at how the militia melt in front of them. So these are just, this is LA Indy Heavy Cav. Not as high defense as our guys, but protection 18 is pretty tough. Also, they have Morning Stars, which have +2 attack versus shield. So that's why they don't have high defense. But these guys have shields. Whereas my guys use a sword, is the distinction I wanted to make. So that's why our guys have much higher defense. Okay, so this is working. This is not working. However, it works enough to cause these guys to rout. So, all ye naysayers. Alright, so it is enough. We lose a lot of militias, but the militia did their job. And here, there was a battle on Titan's Steps. This is us, yeah, taking these guys on. And we just don't have much here. And so we kind of barely hang on. In some ways we got a little unlucky, but there was nothing left that had a shield that could have stood in front. Maybe what I should have done is put these last guys who are guarding the commander in front, so that they could absorb some of the shock in front. As it was, they were pretty useless. Anyways, we win the fight, but because we've lost our two tower guards, this army now can't really do much left. It doesn't really have much left. There's not much left that this army can do. There we go. Got that sentence out. Okay, but we did clear those two provinces, and we found a magic site. We found a mineral cave. Yay, earth gems. So, what is going on? This province, it turns out, can recruit scouts, which is fantastic news. So we've been recruiting scouts here, and we're sending them off to discover who our neighbors are. Here, I recruited a random barbarian to go ping this throne to see what is in there, which is an important thing that you should do. Here, and you do that by just doing attack and retreat. So that's exactly what I'm doing here with this useless judge. So if he dies, well, too bad, but hopefully he won't die. So he is pinging this throne, and this barbarian, which I recruited last turn, is pinging this throne. This province can also recruit scouts, and so we're going to scout down this way. Meanwhile, I'm taking the rest of my army, and here you see I have put... No, here, what have I done? Oh, these guys are on guard commander. Now these guys are all together in a squad in front to fire closest, and I'm going to take on light infantry and crossbowmen. So if you think... I honestly don't remember if this succeeded or not. I'm looking at this and I'm a little worried. We'll see. And then, figuring, well, it worked last time, let's do it again. So we are going after this province here with heavy cav and crossbowmen again. Now, here the scouting report says 30 units, heavy cav, mostly heavy cav and crossbowmen. Now, obviously, this could be very inaccurate, and at the time, I would have remembered maybe what information I got from the scout when he came the first time. So I'm not sure if this is a low or a high estimate or similar to the estimate, but at this point, your guess is as good as mine how many heavy cav there are in here. I have assigned the two Alquils. We got a random Astral 2, which is nice, and I have a new squad which is going to be ready next turn with 5 heavy cav, and then some defenders and some longbows, and a new commander who's going to be ready to take them on next turn. So that is what is going on in this turn. These guys are moving here to site search. that is basically the turn. There may be some mercs being recruited as well. I forget. So let's load up this next turn. I think it's not necessarily turn 7 again, because maybe I missed some turns. I'm not sure. Let's look at this. Okay, so here we are pinging the throne. This throne has... Okay, so it's got heavy infantry, militia. That's not too bad. Crossbowmen, that's okay. What matters here is these guys and what paths they have. So death and blood is actually not bad on a throne. What's really scary is the elementals. The elemental summoners. So these are just a bunch of death and blood guys. And so if you have any Holy One guys that can banish, or just like enough fast units like Heavy Cav, you can actually take this throne. This is not super scary. And let's look at this battle. This is the other throne that I pinged. This throne has some heavy infantry, a ton of light infantry, a few crossbows, a whole bunch of archers in the back, and astral, and a guy with a bunch of gems, and mostly astral, but other things too. And more astral. Okay, not terribly scary. The scariest is when they have a lot of elemental guys, and these guys are mostly astral. So that's also not terrible. 2 woods. These are the surviving members of my initial force. Now, unfortunately, everybody is shooting these guys, and they miss all of their shots. So these guys don't rout until they finally connect. But then what happens is these guys haven't been damaged at all. Magically, our hero defender, who is now routed, manages to cause them to rout. And then we get the, HP rout at the end. So, this army, what a hero army. Now they truly have nothing left, because their guys, they survived, but they've routed. But they managed to get another province for us, so good job. Now, this is us going into Heavy Cav. And so this is the same strategy we had before. But, yeah, so it turns out 30 units, mostly Heavy Cav, is in fact 30 units of mostly Heavy Cav. So I did not ping this before. So what do you think is about to happen? Splat. Clearly this is going according to plan over here, right? Sure, we're going to kill all the crossbows. And they are going to kill all of us. And in fact, we almost got the commander. If we had gotten the commander here before we routed, then the next turn we could just send one guy in, and all these guys would rout because they don't have a commander. However, we did not kill the commander. So we lose our entire army. Obviously the militias don't matter, they were mercs, but we lose everything. And they had 22 heavy cav, and we killed one of them. So this was a disaster. My first major mistake of this game. And this is a huge deal, because it was my second expansion force, and now I basically don't have an expansion force for a while. And also these were, if I had pinged this before, I could have expanded into here easily, joined up with my other army, kept on expanding or something, but I don't do that, and I lose all those soldiers, gaining nothing. So this was a disastrous decision, so learn from my mistake. Always ping heavy cav first. Yeah. And I was counting on this army to clear my cap ring, and I still haven't done that. So this is just... this was very bad. Now, in terms of what else is going, we're sending scouts here. Now, we have now discovered that... Well, we knew that Midgard was over here. We know now that Lemuria is over here, but looking at these scales, we can guess that Lemuria is in fact in this area because Death 2 and Cold and whatever. So we know that Lemuria is here. We have now met Marignon, and in fact, we because our scout is here, so we know that Marignon is somewhere down in this area, and we look at his army, and his army is Hands of Justice and Crossbowmen, who appears to be commanded by Bobby the Dragon. So I assume he's not trying to be clever, and Bobby the Dragon is in fact an Awake Dragon expander, with some kind of fire bless. At this point, we don't know. And I've got my scout here hiding and waiting because I'm hoping that he's going to attack here, because that makes sense. I mean, it's heavy calf, but he's got an Awake Dragon, so why not? Because I want to see what his bless is, right? I want to see what he's got. And we did, in fact, hire these guys because my thinking was, well, actually, they're meat bags. And I can maybe use them to go underwater and get these lakes afterwards. So that was the idea. Recruitment-wise, or mage-wise, I guess I'm not sure what I got now. Last time I've lost track. Maybe one of these fire guys again, and we're making another Alquill, so that's good. So this is the army that I actually showed here. This is the army that I'm sending here. So just the 5 heavy cav. And some archer support and the meat in front. Then, yeah, this is what's left of the army that attacked here. What a disaster. And I'm recruiting more cavalry. All right, that was this turn. A disaster of a turn. Let's see how I recover. Also, in hindsight, I guess I've just noticed this now, and I don't know how I didn't notice it before, but look at this income. Maybe I never had Dominion until now. Maybe it didn't spread until now, but this is super high income. I should have, taken this province so long ago. So, wow. Really poorly played on my part. Don't do what I do. Do as I say, not as I do. Okay, we're site searching. Yeah, just recruiting scouts. Yeah, nothing special is happening here. All right, let's go to the next turn, which I think is the folder with number 8 here. Yeah, I think so. Okay, a few things happen, including this attack, obviously. But let's go. Okay, let's talk about this. Okay, so Marignon attacks me. So in fact, there is a dragon. A few things I should say. So first of all, we did have a Discord channel for this game, but not everybody was actively participating in it. I did not do a lot of diplomacy in this game, and diplomacy was a very big and important part of Dominions 5, and so in hindsight, that was bad. But Marignon clearly wasn't interested in diplomacy. He just, attacked me. He didn't have to. He had tons of indies that he can conquer, but he decided, you know what? I've got an Awake Dragon, and I'm going to just go mess with man. So that's super bad news. So he has an F6 Awake expander, and he has taken a bless. His bless is Awe. And these are, so in MA, Marignon has Sacred Cavalry. In LA, they have these guys. I don't know how much they cost. They're oh, well, he's kind of injured. Let's find a guy who's not injured. Yeah. They're medium protection, medium defense, medium attack with a halberd. So actually, Awe is not a terrible bless here, because in melee, that's going to help them a lot. They're still not good against crossbows or archers, because Awe doesn't do shit against that. Also, this is not terrible with flagellants, because you could just, again, flagellants are still very weak to arrows. So Marignon in general is weak to arrows, although they have infinite crossbows. None of their guys have shields, and their flagellants in particular, you can try to do fancy bless strategies with them, but they can get mowed down by arrows. So this doesn't fix his arrow problem, but, it combines well with a fire dragon, which I think is very cheap for Marignon. Now, but LA Marignon gets free bless points in Astral and Blood 2 and Fire, so they kind of lose out on that by taking this Awake Expander. So I don't know about this choice. But anyways, that's what he does. So of course, I mean, I had nothing in this province, so he takes this province. But I freak out because, like, what the hell, dude? Like, why would you? There were so many indies to take, and he goes right for me. So that is really not cool. Now here, what's going on here? These guys were holding in the back, I guess, because. So they're going to be my meat, and these guys are going to attack the back, and this kind of works. For some reason, I'm expanding with. Excuse me. For some reason, I'm expanding with this mage. I don't know if that was on purpose. But yeah, that happens. And then an unexpected event in Osiandis. People have tired of your oppressive rule. Province lost. So this isn't even barbarians attack. This is just people don't like you. You lose a province. So yeah, misfortune 3. Yeah, that happens. Now, to be fair, I don't know if I put any PD in this province. I'm pretty sure I did, but I can't remember. But this is terrible because not only... Oh, wait, no, these are still connected. Okay, I thought this was broken off. But yeah, like, what the hell? I just lose a province, right? So normally you expand, and at the end of the first year, you want to have like a dozen at least provinces, maybe 15 at the end of your first year of expanding. But remember, this army died last turn. It should have gotten a province and didn't. So like, because of that, my mistake attacking here, every turn since the last turn, I should have one more province that I don't have. So we're already at -1. Random event, -2. And then Marignon attacks me instead of, like, whatever, killing his indies. By the way, we later find out Marignon's capital is, like, down... Oh, Marignon's capital is here, right? So, okay, this is, like, legit. Like, I get why this is close to his territory. I get it, right? But, like, whatever, we couldn't negotiate. I mean, he was slowed. I guess he expanded like this. I don't know how he expanded. Like, I don't, like, if I were him, I would want this land too. Like, he doesn't know that I'm all the way out here, though. For all he knows, my cap is, like, right here. Anyways, so we are, like, -3 on provinces compared to where we should be. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus the cap. But really, it should be 10. It could be 10. Had I made better decisions on 1, had Marignon not been a jerk on 2, and then this was just misfortune 3. So to be fair, misfortune 3 is my fault. I chose misfortune 3 scales. But still, so that is awful. I should point out that misfortune 3 nowadays in Dom 5 is considered, or misfortune in general is considered a bit more of a dump stat, because misfortune doesn't... there's a lot of misfortune events, so misfortune 3 isn't as bad as it used to be in that sense. So, knowing this, what do I do next turn? First of all, we're continuing to recruit mages here and commanders. Yes. Okay, so, all right, let's look at what's going on here. So, apparently, I send a fire mage to go build the palisades. I don't know why that was my plan. Like, why not send... I guess I had nothing else to go build the palisades here. So, I spent my money on palisades, which, obviously, good move, right? Then, I decide to send the rest of this little army here. But, 5 heavy cav is... This looks puny, but 5 heavy cav is... 5 human heavy cav is very strong. It will take out almost any indie type, especially with the archer support down here. The only caveat is I have them on attack archers, which is not a terrible plan. If you do this, though, you can't forget the melee. The melee's still going to run at you, and I'm betting it all on the fact that these tower guards are going to absorb the melee and survive while these guys cause the rout to happen. But if the melee somehow gets past, like, I'm going to take casualties that I don't need to take. It's almost better to just have heavy cav. Like, this is almost too fancy. And then I decide, well, you know what? Why should you, Lemuria, get the water? Like, I hired these water guys, so I'm just going to go and take the water from him. We're going to talk about Lemuria some more soon. Lemuria has, like, ghosts. All their guys are ethereal. But yeah, so anyways, I decide to take these guys, and then I'm bidding for more mercs. I don't know if I get these, but yes, because I noticed I had 0 treasury, so usually that means you were bidding all your money, all the money you had left on mercs. Apparently, I am moving these guys here. I guess my idea is I want to... yes. What I have done here, I missed it in the last turn, but I have recruited... What I have done here is I have been recruiting random indie pop types from these provinces, and yes, that's what happened. From these provinces, I've been recruiting random indie pop types. I had a plan. This is not terrible. So I've recruited random indie provinces, and then I'm consolidating here with the addition of 6 heavy cav to reinvigorate this expansion army. So when I put all of this together, it should be strong enough to keep taking more indie provinces. That's what's happening here. So we're kind of meeting here next turn. Plus, we're going to have these barbarians, and then we'll keep expanding with that army. That is the plan. However, now I'm also worried that, like, well, at this point I was saying, okay, Marignon just took the one province. Like, I don't know what's going to happen here with Marignon. But I can't fight an awake dragon at this point, clearly, right? So I'm pretty worried about what's going to happen here. And now I know Lemuria is pretty close to me, and so bad news all around. So, on that down note, let's leave it there for this episode. The first year is almost over, and we are way behind in terms of provinces because of my poor decisions, bad luck, and jerk dragon neighbor. I mean, I've played with this against this player in a few blitzes. He's not. Actually, I don't really remember. I vaguely remember who this player is. I don't think he's a jerk. I'm just saying. Whatever. I'm trying to be too polite here. Anyways, yeah, he's being a jerk. Let's just call him an asshole. All right. See you guys next turn. Take care.